Welcome back. Let's get to introduce our next guest as we begin the discussion on more issues in the news. Joining us virtually from Abuja is Comrade Ayoola. Comrade, good morning and welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning.
Well, permit us to also felicitate you on the occasion of your birthday. Happy birthday to you, and we're praying for God's continued blessing and mercy upon your life.
Amen. Thank you so very much.
You're
I'm
welcome.
glad.
Well,
Thank you.
let's begin the discuss from another issue in the news, and it's the opinion as captured on the front page of the Nation newspaper that some business leaders and economic experts in the country are more optimistic of the renewed hope agenda, saying that the pains which the president asked Nigerians to bear are long overgone, that the macroeconomics reforms are bringing about stability that has seen a re-emergence of the manufacturing sector. In your opinion, do you agree to their assertion, or do you think that the reforms are still much in their teething stage?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity, and thank you for wishing me my very good day. Uh, the reform has been long, waited for. I am of the opinion that for every good thing, we need patience. Before an elephant can give birth, it takes about 2 years. We are told that as soon as the baby elephant drops on the earth, there is always a heavy sound. It makes a loud noise, and that tells you the size of the elephant. So for any policy to yield an impact, positive impact, it takes time. We are beginning to see some positive impact on manufacturing industries with support from the World Bank. And these are microeconomic policies. It actually takes time. I think we are beginning to see some of the impact so far, and I think it's a good one. So waiting for this long, Nigerians are resilient. We have tried. We are beginning to see some impact of the policies of Mr. President. But that is not to say kudos, and that is not to say it is over. We are expectant. We are expecting more of better policies that will, make impact in the lives of the common man on the streets.
Now, Ms. Comrade Ayoola, I love the fact that you mentioned the common man in your last statement. Coming down to the average Nigerian who hears about these policies affecting our manufacturing industry and also creating some sort of succo for manufacturers in the nation. What are these policies exactly? Do you care to tell us one or two policies and how they have been able to help our manufacturing industry? Because I believe the average Nigerian listening or watching us right now would certainly want to know. Hello, comrade. Well, it may seem that
In the manufacturing industries, for example,
yeah,
uh, the finance department, what we know as the Ministry of Finance, has been doing a lot there, encouraging those who are in the manufacturing sectors to access loans that the interest rates are encouraging, which has made possible some of the things we are seeing today. Innocent is there. We can see almost every now and then his vehicles have made a lot of impact in our transportation industry. So it's like a synergy between the Ministry of Finance and that of Ministry of Transport encouraging those who are in the manufacturing sector to access loans. And that is one. We also have seen some improvement in agriculture, which is also a manufacturing sector. They have been able to access over time loans that the interest rates are quite, encouraging. And I think it's a huge impact. Today, we can boldly go to the market to buy bags of rice at affordable rate, owing to the fact that the impact are beginning to make physical impact. Then you also begin to see that there are some other areas that have not really received this benefit financing from the government. I think, and that is why we are having that kind of high rate, especially in the palm oil sector. Those who are producing, I don't know what it takes, and I don't know how difficult it is to access loans that would have encouraged, because the rate of palm oil in the market is still very high, which is very terrible. Also, the flour, I don't know what the flour mills of Nigeria or the association of the manufacturers or the owners of these companies are, envisaging. I don't know what they are going through. I don't know their problem. I don't know if they got actually support from the government. And if they do, I think the prices of their products should also come down so that the common man on the street, like as I've always said, will also, be able to buy at affordable rate palm oil and flour. Because on every day-to-day activities, man must chop in our local balance. And if the woman go to market to buy oil at that rate, which is very high as we can see now, and the vegetable oil and the flour also affect the pocket of the common man on the street.
Now,
So
Mr. Shagun, before we get into the price of food items, which happens to be another discourse on its own, when my colleague talked about the policies, one that came to mind for me is the Niger First policy. Would you say that that policy has truly translated into putting Nigerian first, and are Nigerians prioritizing consuming more Nigerian-made products?
Yeah, the federal government is making a lot of encouragement in terms of buying from the local manufacturers. For over time, I've used, anytime I don't drive to work, I've used a presidential initiative, CNG buses on our roads. And I'm told not only in FCT, you can see all of that too in other states, like Owerri, Imo State, Anambra, Lagos, and you can mention them, Kano, and the rest of them. Also have this initiative from Mr. President, and it was actually purchased from Innocent Motors. Innocent Motors is a local manufacturer, and you can also observe that even in government houses, SUVs who are being used now by the government are purchased from this organization, from this manufacturing company. I think is a way to encourage them to not just giving them support to manufacture, but also purchase, use the products. They are made in Nigerian products, and these products are also being exported, to other African countries. So Nigeria is also doing a lot to support them. Governors and some other agencies are also doing a lot to support the local manufacturing industries.
Now, this support can be more, Mr.
recent-
Shegun. This support can be more because I had feedback from some of the guests we had earlier on the program that if it's a policy indeed, it should also be a policy statement that ministries, departments, and agencies of governments going forward in their procurements and subsequently is captured in their budgets, if it be in the purchase of vehicles for some of the directors in these MDAs or even government functionary in general, we should prioritize made in Nigeria automobiles. And then even when it comes to the equipment, the computers, the laptops that are used in these offices, that should be the case. It should trickle down to our clothing, One of the biggest supporters of this government is Reno Mokri, who says that he lives by those standards. But would you say that such a made in Nigerian policy should be captured in procurement going forward?
Yes, government over time have initiated, policies that encourage, the purchase of locally made products. I know during Buhari, when he shut down the borders, his mindset was to see how our local manufacturers can be, you know, uh, can be encouraged by way of purchasing their products. I remember that was why our local rice went up. The farmers smiled to the bank because they made a lot of profit from their farming, and that is one. Number two, I like I said earlier, in most companies, most organizations, most government parastatals, the MDAs, ministries, departments, agencies, I've seen one or two vehicles in the midst of other vehicles that they use, which belongs to innocent. I'm not aware of any computer product manufactured in Nigeria being, encouraged by the MDAs by way of purchasing their products. But I think the government should try as much as possible to initiate, policies that will encourage the local manufacturers, so that the MDAs will start, patronizing them. They should have huge patronage, especially from government. You cannot give me money to do something, to make impact in the economic development of our country, and then you go through the back doors to purchase from other country. That is like, a stab on the back. So I think government should initiate policies and gazette it to the MDAs. So in order to encourage them to, by way of sanctioning, if you don't do this, this is your sanction through the directors, PAMSEC, ministers in their various departments, to see how these local products are encouraged, and also give them, what happened during Buhari, when Buhari shut down our borders. Our farmers, they increased the prices of their products, like the rice, the beans, and we are still going through the impact today. I think they should also give a kind of a policy initiative that will also guide the customers, the buyers, those who are patronizing these organizations, these local manufacturers, by way of don't give them this so rate. And that goes to tell you how government should also give them, encourage them, give them loans that maybe 0% interest rate. For example,
Comrade Ayoola, I was going to come to that. We got a report this morning from the DBN stating that it has disbursed 1.1 trillion naira to 700,000 MSMEs in the country. Is there any report of the federal government via any channel funding these manufacturers in the country in the means of loans, grants, or in any other financial way of funding? Is there any report of such nature?
Well, if there is any report of that nature, I'm not aware. But I know that Bank of Industry was actually established to encourage local manufacturers, and is working together with the CBN to encourage local manufacturers. And I know very well during Buhari, a lot of people were able to access these loans, but many of them could not pay back. Today, I think NISA, for example, a microfinance bank under CBN, has shut down the continuous loan. They are recovering now. I'm aware of that. I don't know if there is any reports for or against that policies.
Now, Mr. Shegun, you would stay with us. We need to go on a brief commercial break. When we come back, we'll revisit more on this conversation.